I've read a lot of these lawsuits, including my own. The level of receipts of these assumptions, these allegations, is alarming. It's damning if you're one of the defendants, which is Fox, FS1, Joy Taylor, Charlie Dixon, and could be more, as they stated. From text messages to eyewitnesses to anonymous witnesses who still haven't revealed their names. And the fact is, this is a class action filing. This could get uglier real fast. Sleeping with Emmanuel Acho, I've heard that before, multiple times. Recent as a week or two ago. Part of the reason it was suggested that they do a show together was because of these allegations in the lawsuit that they were sleeping together, conspiring to get that to go. Conspiring with Charlie, conspiring with Emmanuel Acho. Let's make this work. Why I know this would get uglier? Why I know this would get uglier? Because reading through that lawsuit, I can't prove everything. Like I said, some things I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know that Charlie Dixon and Joy Taylor allegedly were having sex together. But some of those things absolutely, positively were true, were factual, were actually said, even by the perpetrator. She accused somebody in that lawsuit, and then I know the people in the lawsuit, and I'm like, yeah, they told me that. And I never thought of it in this context because it was never unlocked until the allegations of, oh, this was all the way from the top. I was in the understanding that it was all just, host and host doing the most, talent and talent, showing who was more talented. Makeup artists and talent, same old, same old. Everywhere I've been, it's the same old, same old. But now, hearing that it may have started up top, whole different animal. What's going to come from this? More names. Guarantee that. More names. More lawsuits, more names. Because unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't even want to say either way. I ain't picking no sides. What Nushin wrote, at least some of it, I know for fact is real. Take it from there. Go from there.
I'm going to say something, and a lot of people are not going to like it, but I don't care. Before this lawsuit broke out, I'm talking like literally a day or two before it got revealed, I was in the kitchen cooking. My wife was sitting right there on the couch, and I forgot how this conversation came up, but this is what I said. I don't think men and women should be working together. I have never heard a good argument as to why men and women should work together professionally. I have not heard one. The most I've heard is someone trying to appease or appeal to the emotions of people. Meaning, well, it's not right. What if a woman wants to do this? What if she wants to choose to do this to her in her life? Or what if she chooses to do that? What if the man wants to do this? Or what if he wants to do that, right? Those are all appealing just to what a person or a group of people may want. That's not an argument for, hey, we need men and women working together in a professional setting because it objectively makes the earth spin slower, makes the earth, there's no objective reasoning for this. If I have if I own a company and I have 100 spots I need to fill, I have not heard an argument as to why if I had 100 men who applied and 100 women apply, all things being equal, talent, education level, work ethic, all things being equal, why should I hire 50% women and 50% men as opposed to, say, 100% of the men? Now, this might sound draconian, misogynistic, whatever. I don't know what it's going to sound like. It's going to sound like a lot of things to a lot of people. But point is this. I don't care about the emotional appeal of things, right? So if you tell me, well, someone should have the right to do this because what? Because they should have the right. Okay. I don't see why we as a collective, a society, a culture, a nation should push and celebrate and want men and women working together professionally. I've said this for a long time because I've thought about this for a long time. This Joy Taylor situation is just another log on the fire that supports my thoughts. I mean, like, honestly, what did we think was happening with Joy Taylor and these other women at Fox? And it's not just Fox; it's just Fox's turn right now because the lawsuit came out. I don't think anything's happening at Fox that's not happening at ESPN, that's not happening at ABC, that's not happening at NBC, that's not happening at CBS, that's not happening at regular Fox. Like, show me a company with men and women working together, and I will show you to some degree romantic or sexual dynamics at play or that have already happened. Seriously. I mean, do you know, I can't think of one company. You really think there's one company you could really walk out to right now that's been a company for 5 seconds with men and women there, and if you gain the trust of the workers and the employees at that place, I don't care if you're talking about your local Starbucks or McDonald's. If you started working there, became cool with everybody who worked in the register and everything, started going out to happy hours with them after y'all shifts is over, or hanging out with them outside of work at their place, and the juices start flowing and conversation starts flowing and you gaining trust, you really, really think at some point they're not going to break down to you who's sleeping with who? You really think that they just go be like, oh no, ain't nobody messing with nobody here? Now, maybe they don't know. Depends on how new they are or how plugged in they are. But you really, really believe that men and women are working together in mass for however many work relationships or work romances you think you know about that has happened at your company, you could probably triple it. What does Eric know? He's just talking. He probably only said it because he had some, or he probably was involved with some, so he think everybody doing the same thing. How about this? Let's run through this site. What's this? peoplehum.com. 7 unbelievable workplace romance stats you should know this Valentine's. Okay, let's see how crazy I am, because I'm probably just talking. You know me, I'm probably just talking. 7 work. Let's see. Number 1, almost all out of marriage affairs are a result of workplace romance. Wow. You don't say. Workplace romance statistics reveal that 85% of affairs outside of marriage begin at work. Now, 85%. 85. Number 2, nearly half of those involved in a workplace romance are top-level executives. Guys, I just said a second ago, if you work in the call center, you don't even know what's going on the VP level, on the C level, on the director level. I didn't even read this yet. I said that before I read that. It says almost 40% of those who had an affair at work were the company's owners or executives. Shocker. Because guess what else I usually say? People don't gain power to not do things, to not exercise power. I say this all the time when something comes out about a celebrity. Oh, it comes out today that can you believe Tiger Woods was holed up in a hotel suite with 80 blondes with cocaine going buck wild? Yes, I can absolutely believe that the greatest golfer arguably ever, worth $1 billion, was doing that. I didn't think Tiger Woods would be worth $1 billion and be the most famous golfer in the world and be driving a Hyundai Sonata, living at the end of the cul-de-sac down the street from you. Because people don't gain power and money and fame to live normal. I think Kanye West said this. He said the goal wasn't to live middle class and drive Camrys. Number 3, to disclose or not to disclose is the new Shakespearean tale of workplace romance. If employees aren't even ready to tell their friends about it, can they really be expected to know exactly when to tell their superiors? Now, understand, this is all self-reported stuff. That means that whatever numbers this thing is saying to you, you need to understand it's way higher. Because self-reporting statistics are notoriously undercounted. Because you're banking on people outing themselves or feeling comfortable enough to say something that they probably would be ashamed about in the past, or maybe still don't want to get out right now for whatever reason. So these numbers are understated, if anything. Number 4, many have no idea about their company's take on workplace romance. Companies should consider their own workplace romance policies, how explicit are office affairs. Listen, that's bull. I didn't work at places where they had strict no dating policies. Guess how many times that was broken? It starts with it ends with lot. Okay? No one cares. Why? Why does no one care? Don't they value their job? They don't want to risk losing their job. Yeah, they don't want to risk losing their job. But again, you put a decent or moderately attractive woman around a man who's decent or moderately attractive for 70 hours a week under high stress, tense situations in which they need to work as a team to accomplish a goal or objectives. And you're surprised at some point when one beer leads to 2 beers to 3 beers at the happy hour, and suddenly, oops, something fell in somewhere. It shouldn't have fell in. I don't know what type of world y'all operate from. Like, what's that Lil Wayne line? I don't go around fire expecting not to sweat. You shouldn't. Number 5, chances of a future workplace romance are higher than you know. No, it ain't. If given the opportunity, 72% of employees indicated that they would get engaged with a coworker again. Now, keep in mind, this is self-reported stats. So 72% in actuality is probably in the 80s or 90s. And it makes sense. If you engage in sexual romance or office romance with a coworker and it doesn't end badly, like your spouses don't find out, you guys don't end up getting fired because your job found out. If it doesn't end bad, and let's say y'all just stop, y'all just cut it off on your own and no one knows, yeah, the chances of it happening again, either with the same person or someone else, is extremely high. In fact, I would imagine that it's not a matter of if, but when you and that same person will bend that corner on again. Number 6, COVID-19 is the matchmaker behind new workplace romances. More than a quarter of employees who are now in a workplace relationship have started a new workplace romance during the pandemic or continue an existing romance at work that began prior to the pandemic. Number 7, final one, company culture is often the third wheel. Corporate culture is an invisible force that guides employee behavior. As per Emmanuel, those working in a conservative culture, as opposed to a liberal culture, are less likely to engage in a workplace romance. With the fear of retaliation from management, fast-paced and dynamic companies tend to be less stringent. 86% of surveyed women who worked for conservative orgs reported workplace romances was discouraged, whereas 50% of those for liberal orgs neither encouraged nor discouraged it in their claims. Okay. I get what they're getting at here, but here's where I would slightly push back. I think if you work in a more conservative industry, say you work in banking, accounting, law, things like that, there's just as much shenanigans going on. Don't let them fool you here. The difference is this. If you work in a more conservative industry, a lot of the shenanigans that are going to be happening are going to be more kept on the low. More hush-hush, the chances of it getting out is going to be less, and also it's going to be a lot more that involves the upper echelon people. If you are in a more liberal environment, right, like a second ago, I just said about Starbucks. Now, we're not talking about Starbucks headquarters in Seattle. We're talking about you work at random Starbucks store 2287 in Tumbleweed, Nebraska or Idaho, okay? Everybody going to be getting down. All right, it just is what it is. If not everybody, 95% of people gonna be getting down. So I don't think it's like necessarily saying, oh, the more corporate it is or the more conservative it is, the less likely it's gonna happen. I don't believe that. I believe that if you are in a more conservative sphere, the higher ups are gonna play. They're gonna play that game more. Now, in a more liberal sphere, the people on the lower rungs feel more comfortable, or probably because of the liberal policies, are more likely to engage on it on a lower spectrum. So, to me, number 7 all depends about who they're asking, at what level of or what totem of the career they're at. And guys, listen. This Joy Taylor thing, I know everybody's talking about the lawsuit aspect of it. I wanted to take this approach because the timing of it for me was funny. Before 2 nights or 1 night before this lawsuit breaks out, I'm having a conversation with my wife about, hey, men and women working together are not a good idea, right? Then this happens. So that's why I wanted to break it. I wanted to touch on this topic with the whole Joy Taylor FS1 Fox thing, because I thought it was hilarious that I just said this and this came out. But let me know what you guys think. Do you know anybody who's been involved in an office romance, or were you the one involved in an office romance, and how did it end, or would you recommend it? And let me know if you think I'm off. Do you think office romance is a happens more or less than I think, or that this article thinks? Let me know below in the comment section, or let me know what you guys think about the whole Joy, Taylor, and FS1 thing. Until next time, thanks. God bless. Talk to you later. Peace.